Tonight, prosecutors in Kenosha County say they have video of Kyle Rittenhouse from 2 weeks before he shot 3 people last summer. They want to use that video as evidence in his murder trial to show his state of mind. Rittenhouse is not seen in this video, but prosecutors say he is heard. He's heard wishing he could shoot at people he believed were shoplifting. Here is that video in its entirety.
It looks like one of them has a weapon. She hung up. Bro, I wish I had my I'd start shooting rounds at them.
2 people died when Rittenhouse opened fire on protesters in Kenosha last year. Rittenhouse's lawyers say he was acting in self-defense. In a motion to admit that video as evidence, the prosecution says this video, quote, proves Rittenhouse was ready and willing to use deadly force in a situation where it was completely unjustified.
It looks like one of them has a weapon. She hung up. Bro, I wish I had my fucking AR. I'd start shooting rounds at them.
Wow, what's the motherfucking K and deal, man? SheldonVybez in this thing, you know what I'm talking about? Listen, if you ain't subscribed to the channel by now, I'm gonna need you to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and tap that notifications bell as well. That way you are amongst those who are notified as soon as I release new content. Also, don't be shy, drop me some in the comment section. That way I can familiarize myself with you and recognize who you are as we are reacting to these videos. Now, I'm sure you have been watching the news lately and seeing all the theatrics that's been going on across all of the courtrooms in America within the past week or so. And I'm talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. We got Kyle Rittenhouse crying, sobbing like a newborn baby, putting on what he's acting, faking. He's squeezing tears out because no real tears flowed out. We got the judge acting as his defense attorney, caping for him. I'm talking about showing his white supremacist self just going all the way out for Kyle Rittenhouse. I've never seen such things happen in my life. Yep. So, if you don't know who Kyle Rittenhouse is an 18-year-old domestic terrorist who crossed state lines to attend a Black Lives Matter protest, and he was 17 years old at the time, and he had with him a illegal firearm that was not registered in his name. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that it was registered in his mom's name. I'm gonna have to do some research and find out about that. And his mom was in the courthouse, and had it been a black mama, if it was registered in her name and the son did whatever he did, I'm sure the mama would have been held accountable. Yeah, also, speaking of his mama, him and her both doing some fake ass crying in the courtroom. Like, she up in there, she look like she fake crying, I don't know. Cause she laughing in the courtroom and shit. Like, what's up with that? I don't get it. I mean, it's no time to be laughing, but do they know something we don't know? Cause they told her, hey, put on the theatrics, cry just like Derek Chauvin's mom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put on the theatrics, make it seem like you're just so in distraught. That way they can grant him not guilty or whatever the case is. Let's check this shit out. Look. Now, she's smiling. She's smiling, y'all. She's smiling. All right. And then, look at this lady. She like, oop, them cameras. Make sure they don't see you. Make sure they don't see you smiling. Look. What's funny? Because if you look closely, that lady there, she started laughing too. it's like, what did he say that was funny at this time? What could be possibly funny? Like, soon as his head move out the way, watch her face. The lady with the, see how she smiled real quickly. What was that about? See what I'm saying? What's that? What's funny at this time? Hey, oh, I see the cameras. Make sure that you put on your theatrics. Why you cover your face up? They both with the fake crying to me. I don't know. I ain't got no sympathy for none of this, man. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. However, before we get off into this video and watch fake sobbing ass Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm gonna need you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop me some in the comment section. And while you're doing so, light up my situation. I expect that y'all subscribe to the channel by now. I suspect that y'all are subscribed to the channel by now and like the video. All right, let's get into this fake crying ass nigga, man. Let's see.
There were three people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
Sound like the judge said, take a deep breath, Kyle. Coddling him and shit. Somebody said it. Nah, man, just let him do him.
That's what I
Look. All this fake ass crying. Boy, shut the fuck up. What was all this crying at when you were squeezing that trigger? Now, this I'm gonna let the judge do his thing in a second, and we're gonna get to that. Before I was about to say what I was about to say, let's go ahead and let this play.
That's right, run.
Is he peeking over there at the jurors to see if they buying his bullshit? Is that what he doing? Is that what this man doing? His lawyer told him, hey, muster up all of the tears that you can muster up. Think about when your grandma died. Think about when you didn't get a toy as a kid, that your friend got a toy, and think about something that is so traumatizing to you, and muster up the tears. And that way you can put on for the jury and the judge, and that way they can feel sympathy for you. Don't nobody give a fuck. But they might, because they finna let this man off the hook. I'm telling you. If they don't let him off the hook, he finna get a lenient sentence. The judge is going too hard to defend him. I just don't understand why he going so hard to defend him. The prosecutor is doing his job, but we'll get to that in a second.
Just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir.
It's time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. Why are you trying to make him feel good?
We're going to take a break.
I don't understand. Now, correct me if I am wrong, but when you are on the stand being questioned about the case at hand, the prosecutor has the right to ask the questions about the case. If it has nothing to do with the case, it has nothing to do with the case. But the questions that the prosecutor asked had everything to do with this case. But the judge and his white supremacist ass sit here and said, I'm white and I say so, so I'm telling you, you can't ask those questions. Basically, in layman's terms, I'm paraphrasing it. But you finna watch it for yourself, and you gonna form your own opinion, and I want you to drop it in the comment section and tell me if I'm tripping or not. Now, this case had no black victims. However, Kyle Rittenhouse attended a Black Lives Matter protest. And if you ask me, his intent was to go harm black people, right? He went down there to harm black people, to get black people in check. However, there were white people there who saw what the hell he was doing and stood up. And he ended up having to bring hat to the white people that was standing up for the black people, for the injustice that was going on. So it backfired on him. He didn't think that he was going to have to handle up on some white people. He thought that he was gonna go down there and kill some black people or rough handle some black people. That's what he thought. You see what I'm saying? But it backfired and he had to kill some white people. So now check it out.
You were just the one talking about get out the car, trying to help you out the car. Now you talking about it? I don't remember you, bro. You said get out the car. Fuck you talking about metal? Yeah. Y'all ass said, ooh.
Everybody need medical.
I'm trying to motherfuckers.
And he said, "Got go."
Medical. What, yesterday or today?
Today. Dude, he just had up the gun. Talking about get off the car. Now he talking about metal.
What car over in the deal?
Wow, did y'all hear that? Let's bring it back one more time so y'all can catch that.
You were just the one talking about get out the car, trying to help you out the car. Now you talking about metal? I don't remember you, bro. You said get off the car. Fuck you talking about metal? Yeah. Y'all ass said, ooh.
Everybody need medical.
I'm trying to motherfuckers. This ass thought it was
Medical. What, yesterday or today?
Dude, he just had up the gun. Talking about get off the car.
Yeah,
Now
he
he
down
talking
there
about
harassing black people.
What car
and shit.
over in the dealership? Sorry.
He down there harassing black people and shit. And the white people stood up because they seen what his ass was doing. And they wasn't riding with that shit. So yeah, that's what his intent was. Although that these victims are white, this is a display of white supremacy because the judge is caping for Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty as hell. It's common sense. He's 17 years old. He was not old enough to even own a weapon that he had, and he crossed state lines with this weapon to attend a Black Lives Matter protest. Bro, you are not the police. You were not deputized to sit here and cross state lines to help. Nobody asked you for your help, bro. You 17 years old. Stay in the 17-year-old's place. You see what I'm saying? If you wanted to do all that, won't you sign up for the military? I believe the military is 17, you're old enough. Won't you go ahead and do that? In most states anyway. But listen at this bull. Listen at this crop of bull. Let's get to this judge and the prosecutor. The prosecutor simply asks the judge, Kyle Rittenhouse, a certain question, and watch how the judge goes off.
There have been numerous occasions during this trial where they've opened the door. The one time when they're going into Mr. Rosenbaum's prior, the reason he doesn't like guns, and I said something, I whispered in Mr. Krause's ear, it's because of the prior convictions. Please stop. And he did. He knows if you're going to go into something that's been excluded in a pretrial order, you better ask the court, you better get permission. This is ridiculous.
It wasn't excluded, Your Honor.
You know why it was excluded in the first place? Because it was propensity evidence. That is exactly what 90404 is designed to prevent. You're talking about his attitudes. His attitude is he wants to shoot people.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
I've admitted that kind of evidence in other trials when it's been a...
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. When a black man is slain on the ground, dead, they always want to go and pull up old things from the past 135 years ago that the man did. Why is it relevant that this man was killed unjustly? Why is it relevant what he did 5-10 years ago when he stole a Snickers bar out of the grocery store. I mean, it just don't make no sense. But you sitting here telling the prosecutor that the prosecutor cannot use the behaviors, the attitude, and the intent of Kyle Rittenhouse. He wanted to have his gun to quote unquote shoot looters. He wanted his gun so he can quote unquote shoot looters. He ended up shooting somebody. How is that not relevant to the case?
I didn't admit it in this case because, to me, what I've heard in this trial, and by the way, Mr. Richards absolutely...
He didn't listen at what he just said.
Now, I've admitted that kind of evidence in other trials when it's been a...
In other trials, I've admitted that type of evidence in other trials. But in this trial, because I'm saying so, and I'm white supremacist, and what I say is go, what I say goes. I'm telling you, you can't ask those questions. That's what I heard.
Appropriate. I didn't admit it in this case because, to me, what I've heard in this trial, and by the way, Mr. Richards absolutely correctly points out that just hours ago, I said I had heard nothing in this trial to change any of my rulings. So why?
Testimony, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
That was before the
Don't
defense testimony.
get brazen with me.
I mean, I'm not understanding his logic, the judge's logic. The prosecutor is making so much sense. The judge is just sitting here throwing his authority around. I'm white, I said so, I'm the judge, I'm sitting on this throne up here. I told you can't ask that question, and you're going to sit here and disobey me. I'm going to ask for a mistrial. That way he can't be charged. You see what I'm saying? Look how they setting this shit up, man.
You knew very well. You know very well that an attorney can't go into these types of areas when the judge has already ruled.
Now he knows very well.
Asking outside the presence of the jury to do so. So don't give me that. That's number one. Number two.
Bro.
This is propensity evidence. I said at the time that I made my ruling, and I'll repeat again now for you. I see no similarity between...
You're going to keep on saying this is propensatory, whatever. Let me see. Propensatory.
Between... I see no similarity. I said at the time that I made my ruling, and I'll repeat again now for you. I see no similarity. Propensity evidence. That's number one. Number two, this is propensity evidence.
Propensity? I'm going to have to look that up. Propensity evidence. I guess it means it's evidence that has nothing to do with the case. I'm just using my context clues. Nothing, it's not relevant to what's going on. But white supremacy says you can't ask these questions.
I said at the time that I made my ruling, and I'll repeat again now for you. I see no similarity between talking about wishing you had your AR gun, which you don't have, so that you could fire rounds at these thought to be shoplifters, and the incidents in these cases, which are not... There's nothing in your case that suggests the defendant was lying in wait to shoot at somebody or reflecting upon the shooting for a vast amount of time. Every one of the incidents involves matters that involve seconds in time.
What is he talking about?
So I commented at the time, I don't see the similarity, and I don't see the similarity now. You have an incident where he's making comments about some alleged shoplifters versus crimes that involve instantaneous actions, whether premeditated murder or whether self-defense, that's for the jury to decide. But I don't see the similarity. I said it couldn't come in, and it isn't coming in. No matter what you think.
No matter what you think. Did you hear that? No matter what you think. I'm God up here. You heard me? I'm God up here, bro. I said you can't ask that shit. So get the fuck out of my courtroom. Or I'm asking for a mistrial if you do some shit like that again and disobey me and disrespect me in my courtroom. I'm God. That's what he just said, man. Listen to him.
Number
The
two.
white supremacist devil just came out of him. No matter what you think. Look at him. He talking to a kid.
And it isn't coming in. No matter what you think.
Shit
Number two.
evil. It's wicked.
I have to be concerned that with what Mr. Richards has said about the progress of the trial, and when you were I said you were over the line, close to or over the line on commenting on the defendant's pretrial silence, which is a well-known rule. I'm astonished.
Wow, man. I'm
That would have been
astonished.
an issue. So I don't want to have another issue as long as this case continues. Is that clear?
It is.
Thank you. Ask the jury to come back in, please.
Wow, man, that is heavy. Do you see what is going on here? The judge told the prosecutor, do not bring up anything that can convict this guy on a crime that he did. Don't bring it up. I don't want to hear about it. It don't make sense in my courtroom, no matter what you think. Come on now. This dude finna get off. They asking for a mistrial. Wow. And if you think I'm just making up white supremacists, just pulling it out my ass, Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist. He's seen throwing up the white supremacist sign, which is a okay sign. It looks like an okay sign, but the W and there's a P. Let me show you. All right, so as you see here, Kyle Rittenhouse with a shirt that says free as fuck, throwing up the white supremacist hand sign. And as you see the judge throwing the same hand signal up. Come on now. I'm not pulling this shit out my ass. Now, you can call me what you want. You came to my channel for a reason because I'm going to keep it raw and uncut with you. You can tell me what you feel in the comment section. Keep it in the comment section. If you don't like my channel, you can go to somebody else's channel that's going to feed you some bullshit. But look at this bullshit here. You see what I'm saying? But it's a good thing because it's another slap in the face for black people, all the kumbaya ass black people that sit here thinking everything is going to get better by prayer and begging and marching and protesting only. Nah, man, it takes a whole lot of ruckus, bloodshed for some shit to change. Farrakhan once said it best. Until blood is shed on the other side, and I'm paraphrasing, then they'll never understand what's going on and things will never change. And I'm paraphrasing, like I said. So, allow me, if you will, the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager who shot and killed 2 people and wounded another during Black Lives Matter protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin last summer, continues Wednesday. And that was Wednesday, November the 10th of 2021. Okay, Rittenhouse, now 18 years old, is charged with 5 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless homicide, and first-degree attempted intentional homicide. He is also charged with possession of a dangerous weapon while under the age of 18, a misdemeanor. He pled not guilty. And I'm trying to figure out how the hell you plead not guilty to having a dangerous weapon that's not registered to you and you under the age of 18 and you got it in possession. Possession is 9/10 of the law, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, now the defense is arguing Rittenhouse was acting in self-defense and claims he traveled from Antioch, Illinois, Antioch. He traveled from Illinois here to help people amid the chaos of the protests. Now, who the hell called Kyle Rittenhouse like, hey, dog, we need your help out here shit, man, they out here cutting up in the streets, man. You know what I'm saying? They got that, they burning up buildings, and we need you with that big old SR20. Bring that big motherfucker, man. Bring that AK you got. Bring that AR. What up, man? Go on somewhere. The prosecution rested its case Tuesday after it called 22 witnesses over 6 days. Gage hell, that boy, that man, the man shot and injured by Rittenhouse took the witness stand Monday. All right. Now, under cross-examination, Gage, that dude, said Rittenhouse had fired at him after he had pointed his own gun at him. Rittenhouse was on the ground after having been attacked with a skateboard by Anthony Huber. Okay, so I'm guessing that Gage said that he pointed his gun at Kyle and then Kyle fired back. I guess it's unclear to me, but anyway, Huber 26, the dude who attacked Rittenhouse with the skateboard. Huber 26 and Joseph Rosenbaum 36 were shot and killed by Rittenhouse. Rest in peace to those. Okay, so now some legal experts and Rittenhouse supporters have suggested that this was the moment that the prosecution's argument that Rittenhouse was not acting in self-defense and actually helped to initiate the violence in Kenosha. All right, it fell apart. The defense will continue to call witnesses Wednesday, including Rittenhouse himself. Wow. Now we got a video here of, says Jacob Blake's uncle, says Rittenhouse showed no remorse. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know who Jacob Blake is. I haven't followed this case much. I just know the details that I know. So Jacob Blake, I'm not aware of, but let's see what Jacob Blake's uncle has to say regarding Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mr. Blake, thanks for being with us. I'm wondering what your reaction to Kyle Rittenhouse's testimony was today.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having us tonight. Well, first off, it was just unplausible, the things that he was talking about, the way he felt, the crying and the display that he showed. Nobody wants to hear that. This young man, once you step into an adult world, you're sort of trapped on that side.
Right.
You don't want to be 17-year-old.
Stand up, Jack.
Playing Atari or playing whatever game they play these days. He stepped into a very adult world, and therefore he has to suffer the consequences of it. 2 men are dead and will never walk back through the doors of their mother and fathers. They had girlfriends, they had fiancés, they had a life. These are 2 human beings. They're not animals. They weren't dogs like they were shot in the street. They're human beings with families, lives, and loved ones.
Do you believe that Rittenhouse has remorse for what he did?
There's no remorse. You can't show remorse because you don't have any way. Every day they listen and read the doctrine that's close to the Ku Klux Klan and the skinheads. How can you blame a kid that's 17-year-old that listens to that over and over again and then goes out and actually acts it out?
Exactly.
From what I understand, you've been outside the courthouse every day so far.
On this
to you,
Theatrics.
What does justice in this case look like?
Well, justice looks like being little Jake's uncle that was shot 7 times in the back by Kenosha police officer Shetsky in front of his 3 kids and player lives. We didn't get a chance to go to court. Little Jake hasn't had his day in court. His day was the bullets and the 7 shots in the back.
Oh, okay. I know who Jacob Blake is. I thought Jacob Blake was a victim to this case. But yes, okay. I know who Jacob Blake is. It's so sad that we forget all of the names that has happened, that's been shot and not only shot, murdered at the hands of the police. It's so many we forget. But anyway, let's get back to it.
These people made it to trial. They've got 12 people who are seem to be breathing and conscious of what's going on in their community, and they have the chance to settle the bill for these 2 families. Although the judge has put his hand on the scale from time to time and made that very difficult and set precedents almost to let this kid walk, the 12 jurors finally will be holding the last say.
And just finally, your nephew, Jacob Blake, how is he doing in his recovery?
Man, he's our hero, bro. He gets into his therapy every day. He's mentally on top of his game. He said he's going to walk next summer, and we're looking forward to it as his uncle. We do want to say this presidency has let the families down of the Floyds. Bianca Austin, the aunt of Breonna Taylor, is upside down about the president not following up with the words that he said. Jacob Blake, my big brother, is very upset about the president and the vice president not following up on what they said. We need, as African descendants, need protection. We helped build this country, 300 years of free slavery. We're the richest country in the world. If anybody deserves to vote, we deserve to vote. If anybody deserves civil rights and liberties, we deserve those civil rights and liberties.
All right, man. So now I got my reservations on Jacob Blake. I don't know the whole situation about his case. And then I also heard a background story of some stuff that he may or may not have done in his personal life. I don't know. So, but police still shouldn't have just shot him up like they shot him up, I don't think. But anyway, back to this situation at hand. Kyle Rittenhouse out here putting on the theatrics, putting on the waterworks, and finna get ready to do a walk. You know what I'm saying? He finna walk home. And if he don't walk home, he'll be on vacation for a short while, I'm sure. But, you know, I could be wrong. You know, I'm definitely not wrong about the judge. Anyway, drop me some in the comment section. Tell me what you think about this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're already a subscriber. I appreciate you. I rock with you. I love you. And until next time, SheldonVybez, we out.